What's up, people? Welcome or welcome back to Invest with T Claus. My name is Tevi, and this channel is dedicated to my investment journey, along with coverage on crypto, Tesla, Neo, Virgin Galactic, and ChargePoint. Come for the information, stay for the transparency. As I mentioned in last Sunday's video, moving forward, I will target dropping a video in week more regularly, and it will likely be on Thursdays, but that could move around. The in-week videos will be focused on crypto news and will feature a combination of things like interviews from prominent investors or entrepreneurs in the space, giving you their perspective on why cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is the future. Other topics will be some how-tos, like how to stake crypto, for example, or I'll simply go over articles that I find provide objective evidence that the adoption of this new asset class is accelerating. If this sounds like content you're interested in, make sure you drop the video a like to let me know. Also, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you're notified each time new content is posted to the channel. Jumping into today's topic, on Tuesday, El Salvador formally became the first country in the world to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender alongside the US dollar. This means that every business in the country is now required by law to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment. This is huge, right? So it's only fitting that for today's video, we focus on Bitcoin. Now, coincidentally, on Tuesday, Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market also experienced a flash crash, meaning that everything dropped by over 30% in less than 10 minutes. Some try to associate this with El Salvador, but don't be fooled by the FUD. Take a listen to the real reason this happened and why the fundamentals behind the Bitcoin bull run haven't changed.
What do you make of what's behind this price move? How much does this have to do with El Salvador, or is it something else?
Yeah, good question. So it had nothing to do really with El Salvador. What we saw today was very much what we saw historically with BitMEX liquidations. And so you're seeing over the last couple of weeks, a lot of whether it's retail and institution on overseas exchanges pile into derivatives products for futures in products that maybe they didn't necessarily know or were funding correctly. And there was a leverage waterfall. And so cascading liquidations happened this morning. Now, what really interesting is that this was very much like a bullish bear day. And so we saw that bounce back really quickly. So as was discussed earlier, we dropped down to 44. We're now at a support level of 47. I still think we're very much nearing that 60K mark. And so we're continuing to see a lot of, I think of the 2.6 billion in liquidations, 1.1 billion was in Bitcoin, 700 million was in Ethereum. And this was largely driven by Ethereum and DeFi assets. So still very bullish on long-term view for price on Bitcoin. What pushed us beyond 50K wasn't the leverage on Bitcoin. It was people, accumulating Bitcoin at spot and buying it in size. And what we were seeing at FalconX, at least today, is a lot of these institutions took the opportunity to buy the dip at not only Bitcoin, but across different assets. And so I think we'll see that 60K sooner than we expect, I think, in the next couple of weeks.
So there you have it. Funny enough, El Salvador also bought the dip in a major way, to the tune of 350 Bitcoins, bringing their total treasury holdings to 550 Bitcoin total. Did you buy the dip? Was it Bitcoin or something else? Let me know in the comments below. Now, let's get into some highlights from Cointelegraph interview with Anthony Scaramucci, who is the CEO of Skybridge. His firm has about $7.5 billion under management. In this next clip here, take a listen to where he thinks Bitcoin adoption currently is, despite the fact that he has a $100,000 price target on Bitcoin.
What is your view on the current situation in the Bitcoin markets? At what point of the price cycle are we at the moment?
Well, I think I want to step back before I address it. I think we're in an early adoption phase of this digital phenomenon. And so you have something like 2% saturation. If you say there's 7.5 to 8 billion people on planet Earth and there's 125 million users. So I think we're very early innings. And if Cathie Wood is correct, and I think she will be, we'll have something like 1 billion users by the end of 2025. So recognizing that and studying other securities or other investment ideas that track Metcalfe's law in terms of exponential growth, there's lots of volatility. There was volatility in Facebook when it came public, volatility in Google, volatility in Amazon. Amazon is one of the more amazing investment stories. A $10,000 investment in Amazon on its IPO May 15th of 1997 is worth $21,140,000 today. Yet you would have had to subject yourselves to 8 times where Amazon dropped 50%. And so Bitcoin, it being 12 years old, it's still maturing and it's still in early adoption. So I expect a lot more volatility. Having said that, this is an asset that's gone up anywhere from 150 to 200% per year. You just have to step back from it. So entry points below 50,000 or 60,000 are very attractive to us. And so we try to buy coins every month as we accumulate cash in our portfolios. We sweep them into Bitcoin. That's not to say that Bitcoin couldn't experience another 50% drop like it did in May of 2021. So to me, it's very early. There's more upside volatility, more asymmetrical upside volatility to Bitcoin. But again, you have to look at it over a multiple year period of time. If you're managing it week to week, you could get caught in a downdraft. And of course, if you're shaken out during a downdraft, you'll be sorely disappointed.
So very early in the process still, if you're wondering, Metcalfe's law states that the value of a telecommunication network is proportional to the square of the number of connected users of the system. For example, 2 phones can only make 1 connection. However, 5 phones can make 10 connections and 12 phones can make 66 connections. So again, we're talking about exponential growth here. Remember that each cryptocurrency is a network, and Metcalfe's law is a mathematical means of calculating what type of network effects and inherently the value that can be expected of the network as it scales. Now, take a listen to why he has the 100,000 price target.
Okay, so let's go back to the markets now. I would like to know, what is your price target for Bitcoin for the end of 2021?
Good question. So I started the year with a $100,000 price target when Bitcoin was at 65,000 in April. It seemed very likely, and then Bitcoin went to 29,000, and now it's back up to 45,000. There's 4+ months to go, roughly 3.5+ months to go in the year. I still see Bitcoin nearing 100,000. So I'm going to stick to that price point. I think it's a combination of factors, but the bottom line is you have limited and fixed supply of Bitcoin, and you have every month exponentially more demand. And so as long as I see that, I see those prices rising. So we're going to stick with a $100,000 price target.
Researchers at Skybridge Capital predicted that Bitcoin will reach 1 billion users by 2025. How are we supposed to get there? What does Bitcoin need in order to reach that benchmark?
Well, on the margin, there's always some technical improvements. All of these cryptocurrencies are going through levels of upgrades. Bitcoin, the network, recently upgraded some protocols related to Bitcoin. But I actually just see it in terms of interest and demography. Ages range from 22 to 29. And I can tell you that they're fully versant in Bitcoin and fully versant in what I would call the crypto ecosystem. Just imagine those people 10 years from now at 39 or 49, how conversant and how easy it will be for them. And I will say this to you, that this is a technology and a product of the future. And the future is going to come more quickly than people expect. And that's really what's going to drive the price and drive the exponential growth. As younger people get older and take positions of power, they're going to have accounts related to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies.
Not too much more to add here other than this. For perspective, in 1993, the internet went public and was available to all. People struggled to grasp the concept for quite some time within the first decade, but then 20 years later, it became common. And now, could you imagine your life without it? Right? So think about that. But more importantly, it is so well integrated that you don't need to understand how it works, but simply that it does. Crypto technology will be the same over time. For this last clip, take a listen to where he expects the price of Bitcoin to be by 2025 and why.
Okay, so 1 billion users by 2025. How much would Bitcoin be worth by then?
Well, I would say the low end of that would be 500,000 a coin. But the higher end of that could be upwards to $1 million a coin by then. But remember, we don't have to do that. Let's say that we got to 750 million users or 700 million users. These coins could easily trade into the $250,000 to $300,000 range. And so if you just take where prices are today and you maintain your patience and your long-term perspective, I think people will be well rewarded that own Bitcoin today.
Let me know in the comments below what you think of that price target. If you take anything away from this video, it should be this. Each token, Bitcoin included, has a full network behind it. If you're curious, go to bitcoin.org and simply browse around and you'll see. Now, I invest in crypto because it is essentially investing in the infrastructure and the building blocks of the digital future we're transitioning to. And like every new technology that has massive potential, the biggest gains are made by the innovators and early adopters. The last 10 years belong to the tech enthusiasts/innovators. This decade, the 2020s, belongs to the early adopters. And we will see truly exponential growth as many of the barriers to the network scalability and adoptions continue to be removed and awareness grows. The last thing I will leave you with is this. I started the video by telling you that El Salvador became the first country in the world to legalize and adopt Bitcoin, right? Well, just a day later, so Wednesday, Ukraine now has also legalized Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Panama isn't too far behind. This adoption isn't slowing down, not by a long shot. It will only accelerate as more organizations and countries become more familiar with crypto and figure out how to integrate it seamlessly. But with that, this is it for today's video. If you enjoyed the content and it gave you some new perspective, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Share this with others who may be wondering why the flash crash happened. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you too can stay in the know. Thank you for watching, stay humble, hustle hard, and I'll see you in the next one.